Okay, sounds good. So let's start the show, everybody. And I see some people are waiting to chat, and we will get them in there pretty quick. So just hang in there, people waiting to chat. Welcome, everyone, to another exciting edition of Real Talk with Daniel Bell. I'm your host, Daniel Bell. Very exciting show today. In fact, a very exciting show. Right now, joining us, Tara Platt, and we have some people tuning in. We have coming up later on the show is Yuri Lowenthal. And Tara, first of all, I wanted to ask you, you guys found me, which is kind of cool. And I'm excited to have you guys on the show, but how did you find out about this show?
Actually, we found out about you through a woman that we're working with for publicity. Her name's Melanie, and she introduced us to your show, and we thought it would be a good fit. And so Melanie actually is the one that brought us together.
Right on, awesome, cool. I'm just always curious, like sometimes people come to the show and I just wonder how they know about it, because like everyone else, I'm trying to get it out there. Cool, Troy, welcome. I see you're waiting to talk there, so I'm going to let you do that. We're kicking off the show. Nice and casual, we're going to talk, we're going to chat, I'll ask some questions, you guys will ask some questions, and that's the format of this show. So, Troy, welcome to the show. Tell us a bit about yourself and then ask away.
Hey, my name is Troy, and I'm 23, and hello, and I'm an actor and also accountant, and that's things about me. I was wondering, Tara, do you know when you're going to start the Indiegogo campaign for Shelf Life?
Thank you so much for asking, Troy. Yeah, actually the Indiegogo campaign is going to start on Wednesday, July 18th. So I think that's like 3 weeks from now, give or take a day. And we're going to be, what we're doing to start the Indiegogo campaign is we're actually doing an event that we're calling Shelf Live. And so it's going to be a live interactive webcast with the cast and crew. And during that broadcast, we are going to be doing giveaways and games and having prizes and special guests and announcements. And that's going to help us to launch our Indiegogo campaign. And we've got some really exciting things. So please do try to tune in for Shelf Live, and then that'll help us start the launch of our Indiegogo campaign, which has some really amazing perks and hopefully will help us get Season 4 out there. So thank you so much for asking.
Very cool. So, to people that aren't familiar, like someone, hey, Yuri's here. What's up, Yuri? Welcome to the show. I was going to say to people who might be tuning in from Yackit and aren't familiar with you guys, why not explain what the Indiegogo campaign is for in more detail so people know more about you guys?
Yeah. Now it's purple, so you can talk.
Okay, now I can talk. Sorry, I'm learning. The Indiegogo campaign, because the show started out with sort of what we could do on our own, what we could handle. Oh wait, we've got a third member jumping in there. And since the first season to the second season, and hopefully people who've been watching the show can tell, from first season to second season, there's been a marked improvement in everything. And then from the second season to the third season, it's gotten even better. And for us to take it to the fourth season and really grow the show to where we want it to be, we can't fund that ourselves anymore with our credit cards. So that's why we're going to have to reach out to fans of the show and people who just want to see the show succeed, and to help us out, to help us bring a fourth season that's even bigger and better than what we've done so far. Oh, and then do I click done?
Very cool. Well, all right, I was going to ask a question, but I'm going to turn it over to Skater Fantasy first because I know he's been waiting. And Troy, I'm going to boot you, but that doesn't mean to leave. You'll just go back into the waiting to chat, and we'll bring you back in the rotation. Tell us about...
Hey, I was saying if you had any secrets on Wild Grinders, any special things happening for the episodes in the future?
Secrets on Wild Grinders, huh? I don't know about secrets on Wild Grinders. If you've been watching it, you're pretty caught up to what we're doing on Wild Grinders, which means that anything could happen. The show just gets crazier and crazier. I mean, you think Rob's crazy to start with, but it just gets crazier and crazier. It's a fun show to work on, and the characters are totally goofy, and we just get up to all sorts of trouble. And we recorded a bunch of episodes. We recorded 26 episodes, so I think they've only aired about five or six now. So you got a lot to look forward to. And if people are watching it, then maybe they'll let us make some more. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Our cat is such a camera whore.
I know. Look at him.
As soon as he found out we were on, he was like, I'm going to come get on with you guys.
Star cat.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, I'm back. Cool. All right, here's a question for people who want to start a show. You guys have had so much success and hopefully continued success with your show. What advice do you give to people who have an idea for a project and they want to get it off the ground and do it in a way that might have some longevity?
Well, my first piece of advice is do it. I know that sounds sort of trite and cliche, but honestly, so many people talk about having things that they want to create or want to produce or want to put out there, and they never actually get around to doing it. And I'm a firm believer that doing it is always better than not doing it. And I think it's better to have something out there in the world than to have something perfect. And so trying to stop yourself by going, well, it won't be quite right, or it needs to be better, those are just limitations that you're giving to yourself. And so if you can instead look at what it is that you want to create and what it is that you want to put out there and say, how can I achieve this in a smaller scale? Because I get it. We all want to be big budget, whatever, and have car chases and explosions and all that fun stuff. But until we're at the point that you can make that happen financially or viably, with, explosions and whatnot, it's important, it's important to just take steps and make things happen. And so my first bit of advice is just do it. Like, get off your duff and start taking action. I mean, every little step will lead you down the path of actually getting it accomplished. Yeah,
don't let the fear of it not being perfect or you not having enough money or, enough time or enough resources stop you from doing it. Do it on whatever level you feel you can handle. And trust me, there are people out there who will help you. Lots of people want to do stuff, and it's one thing we've definitely learned is that it's a lot easier when you're working with a team. So go do it.
Good advice. Let's welcome Stephen Goskin to the show. Stephen, welcome. Tell us a bit about yourself and then any questions or comments that you have.
Hi, my name is Stephen. I'm actually also an actor, or at least I'm aspiring to be one. I was actually wanted to tell you, Yuri, I'm a huge Code Geass fan. I actually just wanted to ask you two questions. One, do you think what do you think of the idea of say Code Geass being adapted to the screen? And also, this is pretty embarrassing. Do I look like I could maybe play Lelouch?
All right, cool. Those are the questions. I'll turn it back over to you guys.
All right. I would love to see. I don't know if you had heard that they were going to be adapting it to the screen. I think that would be extremely exciting news because I love it so much. Adapting it, of course, to live action as opposed to the anime version would cost a lot of money. So I hope we get a big studio behind it if indeed we do that. Could you play Lelouch? I don't know. You look more like a Suzaku from here, but it's tough with a webcam. And I think I'm already too old to play Suzaku, so I might as well leave that up to the young bucks like you guys.
Thanks. I don't think I could probably play Suzaku. He's should be played by an Asian because he's Japanese. Thanks for your answer. I also wanted to say that you were also really good in the Ben 10 shows. I haven't watched that much of the ones that you were in. I tried watching a little bit. It just wasn't really as good as the original. So it's nothing personal. It's just one of the things I really liked about the original series was how it was funny how Ben and Gwen would argue all the time, and now that they get along, it's just not as funny anymore.
Yeah. Oh, you're not the first person to say that, so don't worry about it. I know a lot of people have a problem with that, but they're working on ways to fix that problem in the upcoming series. So hopefully the way they solve it will be something to your liking. Give the new when Omniverse comes out, watch an episode, see if you like it, and if you still don't like it, you could. There's so much good stuff to watch right now. I wouldn't worry about it.
Hi, Rourke.
It's actually a good lead-in. Sorry to interrupt your hello there. It's a good lead-in to my next question. And Roar, I'm going to send it right over to you after this. So let's say you have a show up and running now, and you've completed one season, and you're going into the second or third season. What are some tricks or advice, if any, that you have to keep the show from getting stale? So you don't get to that point where people are saying, oh, it was good. You don't want to be recycling the same ideas over and over again. Are there any techniques that you guys use?
Oh, we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're purple.
We're purple now. Tara just mentioned it, and I would second it. That creating strong characters to start with. If you start your show just sort of on an idea for a plot device or something like that, you can only go so far with it. But if you base it around characters that the viewers fall in love with and want to see basically whatever they do next, they'll want to follow them. It's much easier to keep something like that going, and that was important to us with our show.
And also, I mean, even if, regardless of what our show does, even if you or someone else has a show and they're looking to explore it, really ask yourself questions about the character. What situations might the character find themselves in? What would be bad for the character? What would be good for the character? And those are ways that you can explore it without the show getting stale, because really what a show is the humanity of that character and what that character chooses to do and how they function in the world and how they interact. And so that's really at the crux of most storytelling is what that character does and why movies work and why movies or web series or plays or whatever don't work is if a character isn't being true to the character. And so that's usually the biggest complaint when people watch something is, well, that character would never have done that, or that doesn't make any sense. And so if you follow through honestly a character's arc, then you're going to have interesting storytelling, and that's going to keep people engaged, I think.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I'm going to hit done.
Yeah, that sounds like great advice. It makes perfect sense. Rourke 215, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
All good. No pressure. You don't have to say anything, but you're welcome to ask us questions or say whatever you want.
No problem. Who's up?
You don't have to ask. I just assumed you wanted to. Sorry about that. Okay, well, I want to ask you guys so much experience with voiceover. And that's something I've always personally wanted to break into, so it's very fascinating to me. Somebody like me, or me, for example, and I do voices and characters and stuff. Having that piece in the basket, what should be my next step in pursuing a career in voiceover?
Well, you've got the first part down, which is it sounds like you really want to do it. You know, a lot of people would sort of look at it, you know, on a whim, and I would not recommend it as sort of a whim kind of thing because it is going to take a lot of work. Having voices in your back pocket is good, but not every actor gets hired to do, you know, lots of character voices. And we found that the people who really make a go of it and get out there and work a lot and work consistently are good actors as well. So one of the things you do want to focus on is the acting part, whether it's, you know, being in, you know, doing plays, doing theater, you know, local theater, school theater, whatever, or, you know, making movies with your friends or taking acting classes, all those different things, I think will help contribute to something that's going to give you a strong base in it. But as far as the next step is concerned, I mean, that's because that's all stuff you can work on. Definitely make sure that you practice reading out loud. Right? It sounds simple, and it sounds like something we all do and can do, but it's part of our work every day. We show up, and they give us the script. We usually don't get the script in advance to review, and so the ability to just look at a script, make some quick decisions, and really be able to pick the lines up off the page so you don't slow the session down are invaluable. Other things you can do, I mean, probably a lot of the stuff you've already got. You know, professionalism runs really big in this industry. Just the simple idea of, you know, showing up on time, being polite, being, you know, a good person to work with. I've gotten jobs sometimes where I know I'm not the most, you know, the perfect person for the job as an actor, but it was between me and somebody else who they're like, you know, he's kind of a jerk. We'd much rather hire Yuri. You know, sometimes it helps you when you're not even, you know, the best for the role. And then depending on where you live, also, you know, there are different opportunities for work. Clearly, as much as or so far from what we've found, the majority of the work is out here in Los Angeles. And though technology allows it, you know, these days for you to record things from wherever you are, people like to sort of have you in town. They like to know that they can call you up and you can come into the studio to record. But there are some services online. I'm not familiar with specific ones, but I know a lot of people talk to me about websites online where you can, you know, create a demo, put a demo up, and then audition for mostly commercial type copy. So that might be one way to at least get your feet wet. I think that's probably a good start.
That's great. Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I could talk all day about this, but I can also say Tara and I wrote a book. I don't know if she had gone over it before I showed up, but we wrote a book called Voiceover, Voice Actor: What It's Like Behind the Mic.
It does talk to a lot of those very specific points.
Yeah, it'll say more than I could say in, you know, the time that we have here. And you can go and read about it at if you go to voiceovervoiceactor.com.
I definitely will. I look forward to reading that book. And I just moved out here to LA, so that's inspiring to hear that this is the place to do it. SoftBank 47, welcome back.
What's going on, guys? For those who want to know, my real name's Jim, and I'm actually an intern at a local radio station here in north of Boston. I write commercial copy, and I also have voiced a couple of ads as well. I was actually wondering who are the people to actually network with, because I'm going to be in Baltimore for Otakon, and I know it's not necessarily the best place for it, but you know, who are the guys to network with if there are any at the conventions?
I wish we were going to Otakon this year. We've been once before, and it's one of our favorite shows of all the shows that run. It's really well run. I'm trying to think offhand if I know of anybody who's going to be there specifically. I would I would go over the list. If they probably have a guest list posted on the website right now. I'd check and see who's going to be there, and I'll tell you what. If you list up, well, let's see, might be easier for me to send me an email at ylowenthal@gmail.com, and
He's going to use a favor. Give him a second.
I'll repeat it. I'll
write it down. I'll write it down.
Oh wait, Tara's gonna jump on in the chat. Send me an email at ylowenthal@gmail.com, and I will check out the Otakon guest list and see if there's anybody there that I think you should talk to in particular about stuff like that, or network. Because you're right, networking is a huge deal for that sort of thing.
But I would also put in that a lot of times people think of networking as like talking to other voice actors, but it's not always the voice actors that can actually help you get work, and so it's very important to recognize that part of the networking also is about the people that are actually going to be creating the work, the producers and the casting directors and all the other, the directors, the people that are, the various people involved. I'm not saying you would only talk to the actors. I'm just mentioning that for anyone that may be listening, is it's not just about the actors. You know, everyone's like, oh, they're the actor, I should go ask them how to get work, but it's not really the actors that can necessarily help you do that. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Right, but Boston, offhand...
Oh, sorry. Okay. But yeah, another thing is that, I mean, I do have acting experience, but the problem is that I don't have a demo of any of it. I'm actually thinking of taking what I have with my ads, splicing them together as a demo, and then using that. Is that valid as one, is the real big question.
Yeah, I think to start out, yeah, whatever you have is going to be, you know, good enough. It's better to get that out there. I mean, unless you recorded it, you know, in your garage through, you know, a $5 microphone, and then you don't want to put any of that kind of stuff out there. I would recommend, yeah, if you've got stuff on tape already, put that together, and that'll at least give them an idea of what your voice sounds like, and to see if it slots into anything, you know, in particular. That they might be looking for. Yeah, I'd say if you've got that, go with that to start. Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, sorry about cutting you off before there. It was an accident. Wormhole Riders, welcome.
Hello. I don't know if I'm being heard or not. Hi, Yuri. Hi, Tara. It's so nice to see you. Can you hear me?
You are being heard. You just, it's only one speaker at a time kind of system, so when your window is lit up purple, we hear you.
This is a very cool chat, guys, and I love Shelf Life series. Is there a place for a guy with a baseball cap to join the series? And I'll just go back to listening. It's so fun to see you both.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny that you ask, because I think there's a place for a very many number of new possible guests on Shelf Life.
Which is to say that I think what she's trying to hint at is you may see some new faces in this season, some that you may know from other TV shows, even. And yeah, we're excited to start bringing some new people onto the shelf, because, you know, as great as we are, we want to mix it up a little bit. Maybe you'll see this guy right here. Maybe you'll see our cat. Who knows? But yeah, guys in baseball caps, guys in army uniforms. We're equal opportunity.
Exactly, equal opportunity, fun time.
But we're glad you love the show.
Oh, Rourke just asked us a question.
I got a question for both Yuri and Tara. Do you guys have, like, were you guys ever thought of being voiced in a Kingdom Hearts video game? Because, like, I used to love Kingdom Hearts, and I was seeing if you guys would ever, like, want to be voiced in one, or if you are going to be voiced in one in the future, or anything like that.
Did you guys hear that question? I found it a little hard to hear. You did? Okay, I'll send it over to you.
Actually, Frankie, I've auditioned for Kingdom Hearts video game before, twice I think, and so far I haven't gotten the job. Tara may have even auditioned for Kingdom Hearts. So we're trying really hard to be in a Kingdom Hearts video game, and hopefully we'll get in eventually. But so far no luck.
And earlier in the chat room, on the comment, someone asked how we came up with the idea behind Shelf Life. And so I just wanted to respond to Rourke and just tell him, not only did I type it, but we came up with the idea. We were actually working on a different web series at the time in pre-production, coming up with some ideas. And it just sort of popped into our heads, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is too funny not to pursue. It's a really silly idea about these action figures that would be commenting on the world around them while they're basically imprisoned, stuck up on their shelf because they can't leave. And so that's sort of how the idea came into. I'm
almost embarrassed that it was Tara's idea. She came up with the idea, and I'm like, no, wait, I'm the nerd in this family. I was supposed to come up with that idea. But at least one of us did, and now we're making it.
So thanks for the question, Mark.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're almost at the end of the show, so I think we have time for 2 more questions. Troy, I'll turn it over to you, but try and keep them brief because we have to wrap up in 3 minutes. It sucks. I always don't want it to end. It goes too fast, but that's thanks to you guys for being good guests. Troy?
I'm sure I could find this on the internet, so this is probably fairly lazy question asking. But what is the status of your con artist movie? Is that, yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's a great question. It's actually in the very, very final stages of post-production. So hopefully within the next couple months, we've had a couple sort of snafus and things that have slowed us down a little bit, but we're still on track to get it out within the next few months. So
essentially we're just getting the picture is locked. We're just getting some music for it, and then final sound mix. And then, we should be good to go. We can't wait to get it out. We've been working on it for way too long.
And I want to share it with people because that's the fun of doing when you make something. The fun is getting it out there. It's not having it all up in your computer.
Right. But thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Okay, Skater Fantasy, I'll send it over to you for the last question of the day or comment.
Is there any other video games that you guys might be into coming up later in the future? Like besides Kingdom Hearts, like any other future gaming?
We're both working on a lot of video games. I'm trying to think if there's anything that we can talk about because most of the time the video game companies, until they release or until they start talking about it, they tell us to shut up about it, otherwise they'll fire.
But recently, Saints Row the Third came out. We're both in that, and I'm in Resistance Burning Skies, which just came out.
Right.
I'm trying to think if there's other titles that just got released, because we can talk about them once they're released. It's just we can't really always talk about them leading up to
But we are working on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be coming out over the next year. So.
And you can always check our sometimes updated Wikipedia page and sometimes updated IMDb page. There's usually information that you can find in both places.
Right. You know what we should have? We should have a Wild Grinders video game. That's all. I'm just saying we gotta. Wouldn't that be great? I'm gonna have to talk to Rob about that the next time I see him. Like he probably hasn't already thought about it. He's a genius. Thanks, Frankie.
We're gonna squeeze one more in from Rourke 215. He wants to talk now, so we'll squeeze in one more.
Okay, what's the difference between working on an original animation when you have the other actors to bounce off of versus anime when it's just yourself in the booth, and which one do you think requires more acting ability?
Oh.
That's a really amazing question.
Yeah, good one to end on.
There's a lot of information to that. Obviously, like you said, when you're working on original animation, you get to bounce it off the other people in the room, and so you're, surrounded by the other actors, and you can take their work and immediately react to it, and so you sort of bring it to life in the moment. And when you're doing anime by yourself, a lot of times as the actor in the booth, you're having to come up with, in your mind, all the imagination work that would go around their work, because sometimes they haven't recorded yet. Now, sometimes you have the ability that if you're the second recording actor that you hear the first actor, but sometimes you're the first actor, and so you have to do all the imagination work on your own. So there's definitely a balance. I don't know that one is necessarily harder than the other because you're still using your imagination, you're still using your acting tools.
I think anime dubbing is harder. I don't know. Yeah, technically. I don't know if one of them requires more acting abilities or acting skills than the other, but anime dubbing is definitely technically harder because, like Tara said, you need to bring your imagination to everything because you don't have a room full of people to bounce off of, and you have to, make it fit the words. It's all about timing and trying to maintain, the original emotion from, the character when it was originally recorded. Yeah. So it's a lot of technical things to be thinking about. So I would say that's harder work, but they're both fun.
Yeah, they're very different though.
Yeah, but that's an excellent question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara and Yuri, for being on the show, and thank you everybody for tuning in. That's our show for today. We'll be back again next week, same time, different guests, and right here on Yackit.com. Yackit.com, voice it, share it. Yackit, you can come on here, you can host a show. Anybody can. It's a great platform, as you see. And thank you, everybody, and have a great night. Bye-bye.